With the official inflation indicator, July's consumer price index maintaining a year-over-year increase of 8.5% inflation. Let's get reaction to Wednesday's economic news and the Biden administration's positive spin on those numbers from a member of the House Oversight Committee, South Carolina Congresswoman Republican Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, welcome back. Great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me tonight.
Okay, so Congresswoman Jayapal, who is on the other side of the aisle from you, Democrat, tweets this: 0% inflation in July. Real wages up for the first time in almost a year. Now let's pass Inflation Reduction Act and reduce healthcare and energy costs even more. POTUS and Dems have a plan, and we are delivering. She says they're getting it done, and all the economic indicators are moving in the right direction. It's good for the country. Do they deserve some praise?
Oh, absolutely not. I just filled up my tank, Shannon, on the way here tonight, and it was just under $4. 3 years ago, I was paying under $2 a gallon. Not only that, but wages are absolutely not keeping up with inflation. I don't know what kind of math classes Congresswoman Jayapal took, but that is not what's happening. The cost of everything is up because inflation is taxation. And just in June, we had the highest on record so far inflation marker at 9.1%. So just because you have 104-degree fever and it drops to 103 degrees, it doesn't mean that you're cured. You're still sick. And that's what's going on with the economy right now. We have a long way to go to get through this thing.
So the AP reports it this way. They say all told, the July figures raised hope that inflation may have peaked after more than a year of relentless increases that have strained household finances, soured Americans on the economy, led the Federal Reserve to raise borrowing rates aggressively, and diminished President Joe Biden's public approval ratings. Again, saying that maybe this has been a peak, that terrible 9.1% number. We're back to 8.5%. Are you confident that maybe the worst is over or not?
Well, we've seen other indicators, whether it's the bond market or the economy not growing the first 2 quarters of this year. The cost of eggs are up 47%, I read today as well. And the cost of everything is up because of gas prices, and it will continue to be that way. One of the other strains on the economy and jobs right now is the cost of employees and salaries and wages that are just keep going up because of the demand out there by employees with unprecedented wage demands, and small businesses aren't going to keep up. And I keep hearing the talking point that no one making under $400,000 a year is going to be taxed. There are a lot of companies, S corps in particular, that make $400,000 a year, and the taxes that they're going to be under are going to affect their hiring, whether they can reinvest into their companies and their businesses, and those are small businesses. And every tax on $400,000 and higher will get paid for by middle America, by hardworking Americans, because somebody's got to pay that bill, and it's everyone that's buying goods on the shelves everywhere they go.
And there is nonpartisan analysis in different groups out there who are talking about the fact that some of what's been represented in, for example, the Inflation Reduction Act is not as it's been publicly stated. So only time is going to tell. That heads to the House now, so you guys will have a chance to vote over there. In the meantime, there's this a lot of this talk in the media that things are going well for the president. He's peaking at the right time, that Republicans have been leading in the generic ballot leading up to the midterms, that those polls are tightening. And then here are some of the headlines. Vanity Fair: it's a turning point. Democrats are raring for a victory lap. The New York Times: Biden is on a roll that any president would relish. Is this a turning point? The Hill: Biden approval rating jumps to its highest level in 2 months in Reuters Ipsos poll. And finally, a headline from Politico tonight says GOP midterm hurricane gets downgraded. Are you worried the president is peaking at the right time for his party?
Well, we're still a long ways away from November, and a lot can happen between now and then. I will tell you the outrage I've heard from constituents on both sides of the aisle after the raid earlier this week has been enormous. And we know that things can change on a dime. And I know in South Carolina, Biden is not liked. They don't like his policies. People, whether you're Republican or Democrat, do not like inflation. They don't like paying record prices at the grocery stores, or getting gas, or having to make really hard and tough decisions about what kind of clothes or shoes they can buy their kids, or how they're going to get them to school every day. And school starts next week. And so families are feeling that pain. And so I think we're still far out from that. The House, I still believe very strongly that we're going to have a majority. but there have been some tailwinds, whether that was, the vote on gay marriage or contraception, those kinds of things. I've been very outspoken about that. I think it's really important that Republicans show where they can be supportive on issues like those issues, social issues. And it's going to be really important to have a strong message going in November. And I think we're going to have that. And after this week, seeing the way that Republicans are rallying together for the fall, I think it's going to be a big deal going into after Labor Day.
Yeah, and both the parties say that they are the big tent party. So we'll see what voters think when November comes. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us again. Good to see you.
Thank you.